I don't know which is harder, setting up stuff like this or finding bugs in a code that is not working. Wait. So they can hear my voice on YouTube? Very good. Very, very good. It's just my face they cannot see. That's fine. That's fine. So let me do this. So that we are waiting for video. That's good. That's very, very good. We have 3 people watching. It's like I've disabled my own comment section because I'm not seeing any comments. It's fine. I typically don't like reading comments when I do this thing, so it's fine. Zoom. Oh. Zoom, 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 zoom. Sorry? You can hear me on Zoom. Are you sure? Please, if you can hear me on Zoom, leave a comment in the comment section. So can you, so I have gotten a comment. I can hear, very good. Thank you very much, my very, very good friend. I'm very sorry. Mrs. Adetoro, can you confirm that you can hear me? Is Fola in the house? We had major technical difficulties with Zoom. I honestly don't know what happened, but we hope to get on the way soon. Now, right, if you can hear me on Zoom, please unmute. Let's see if we can hear you here. Very good. Please unmute if we can, and save, and let's hear you. Let's be sure that we are good so we can take off. If you can hear, go on.
Can you hear me?
We're hearing you. Please keep talking. It's not very clear. Please keep talking.
Okay. How are you? Can you hear us?
Okay. Please, we can hear you, but it's not very clear. It's not from your end. It's from our end. Don't worry. It's from our end. We're just trying to fine-tune your very handsome voice. So, Ms. Editor, please say something. Let's be sure that we can hear you loud and clear.
Can you hear me now?
It's getting better. It's getting better.
Yes.
Just keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking. Sorry for the inconvenience, please.
Is it all good over there?
Are we good, team? Are we good? Sorry, your... I stop for me.
Alright. Is it better?
Can you hear me, sir?
Sorry.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Hold on.
Can you hear me now, sir? Hello, sir. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You should be able to hear me now, sir. I can see levels on Zoom. I can see levels is working. You want to hear me now? Anyone will respond. I assume that you have to reach the Wi-Fi. So I'll just continue with the assumption. The biggest problem now is setting levels for Zoom. People are talking on Zoom call. I think we're good. I genuinely think we're good. It's not okay. It's not okay. Okay. I don't know, maybe it's not. Everybody else can hear me. Everybody else can hear me because that means it's not. Everybody else can hear me. Everyone can hear me. So, as a general,
Yeah, it's good now. It's good.
okay, the problem was Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Alright, so just talk for a few, it's let me fix it because it's coming with just someone as well as the camera. So
okay.
just keep talking. Thank you.
Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome to the Revolutions. And I'm very, very glad that you are here. And I think I apologize for the inconvenience with softwares and showing is more or less the correlation of the journey that we had in about a year now, when we've been preaching and encouraging people,
So that's why
our friends.
Who put effect on this thing?
Yes, okay. So as I was saying, this is. I think we should start now. While you fix the video. Sorry. Like I said, sometime in November, we came up with this weird, I call it a weird idea, that we could somehow convince international students who schooled, lived, and worked in TRNC to pivot into tech. And it was a very interesting idea at the time because it wasn't a very popular idea, but we did it anyway. And we had a couple of people who were interested in what they wanted to do and in what tech was and the opportunities that tech provided. But as many people quickly realized, which is normal in tech, okay, they can see me now, very good. Which is normal in tech, as many people quickly realized, it is not a day's journey. It is not a sorry, son. I can't see myself on Zoom. Oh, you're working on that. All right. So, as many people quickly realized, it's not a day's journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It's something that takes, a few months. And sorry, hold on. All right, but as many people quickly realized, it's not a day's job. It's something that they needed to take time and practice and rehearse and put in all the effort. And so, we realized that we needed to have a community around it. We needed to encourage people to keep going, answer questions. So we started having more events. We started having keynote speakers. We started having resource persons. We started having fire chat sessions. We started having review sessions. We started having call sessions. So sometimes at 10, 11 p.m. on Sunday night, we would have like a group conference call and give feedback on certain portfolios, certain projects that were that people had submitted. And by the way, I know that some people can hear me on YouTube. If you can hear me on YouTube, please, if you can hear me and you are supposed to, Mr. Derek, I see you, sir. If you can hear me on YouTube and you're supposed to present your portfolio today, I think you are in the wrong place. You are supposed to be on Zoom, not on YouTube. So I say this because there's a particular person I am seeing on YouTube that I know has a portfolio. And I'm wondering how you intend to stream from YouTube. So please go to the Telegram group. I have posted the Zoom link there. And let's have you on Zoom very quickly, please. What's going to happen next? In the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we're going to hear from each of our jury members, and they're going to introduce themselves. I don't want to introduce them because I feel like I would not do them justice. They are very, very important people, and I feel terribly embarrassed to have wasted their time this morning. But I apologize. I know that they do this out of the goodness and kindness of their heart. But nevertheless, we have an agreement that this event would not last anything longer than 2 hours. Because like I said, they are very, very busy people. So we will do our best to stick to that time and work with that. So to get the ball rolling, can we hear from them on Zoom? Okay. Mrs. Adetoro, are you ready? This is the point where you can introduce yourself, and if you have anything prepared, slides, notes, whatever. This is, you have about, what's the time? About 10 minutes to quickly, 5-10 minutes at your discretion, um, to share a few things with us. I will only say that Mr. Dotoro is a seasoned software developer. And I should also say she's married to one of my childhood friends. So, by extension, she's also my childhood friend. All right. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. Please take it away. You might want to put on your video, share your screen. I don't know, whichever one works for you. All right. Take it away.
Hi, good morning. I think it's still morning where you are too.
Yes, it is morning. Please go on. We can hear you.
So my name is Aditur, and then also did like some communication things and stuff. But after a while, I kind of figured that that's like industry.
Recording in progress.
Of sort of proving to myself that I could actually do the things that I had learned. And with that, I was able to get a job. And I recently clocked 1 year as a full stack software engineer. So that's kind of like my story and how I transitioned into tech. Thank you.
Wow. I know I didn't prepare you for this, but before we drop before you drop the mic, you said
Yeah.
something, and this is very, very important to a lot of people in tech. That's why I wanted to answer it. You talked about trying to get a job, and you didn't get a job, and you were trying to do stuff before you eventually landed something. Could you talk about that time? What was that time like? What was your mental, where were you mentally in that space, and how did you keep yourself going? Because a lot of people struggle with that at the moment, trying to get remote jobs, trying to get this, and they're like, oh, we're trying, we can't get this, we're trying, you're just giving us Ella up and down. So somebody here is laughing. Somebody here is laughing because we know we'll be getting many, many Ellas. So please tell us, Sensei, teach us how you have done this.
So I won't lie, it was a very frustrating period. I kept on like second guessing decisions that I had made. Like, okay, who sent me to quit my job? But it was eventually I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but one thing that really, really helped me in my own case was building something. because it kind of was something to do within that space of time when I was applying and no one was responding. And look, if one thing that really helped me in particular, because I can only speak from my own journey, was that product eventually became number two product of the day on product hunts. So that gave me like boost of confidence, like okay, I can I can actually, like, I'm not playing, like this I'm actually doing something good, like it's something that can actually get recognition and stuff like that. So with that, I just put that product on my CV. So it was something I could use, as even though I didn't have industry experience, I had experience building something. And so when I eventually got like a call back, it was something that was I could use to speak about what's like my experience. And I think that's what actually really helped me to land a job, I think. But yeah, that period was, it wasn't a nice time really, but what I can say is that try not to get too frustrated. Like, I can't say you won't get frustrated, but try not to get too frustrated, because I almost did not apply for the job that I have now because of that frustration. But it was just like, you know what, the worst they would do is ignore me. Let me just try. And I even submitted like 11:59 of the time. I was the last day. But I was just like, you know what, let me just go ahead. And I keep on thinking about, like, what if I didn't send in my application because I was frustrated. So I think just keep on trying, and you don't know which one or when you actually learn something good.
Okay. I would save the rest of my questions for later, but for those who don't know, Product Hunt is kind of like a platform where products, tools, softwares that are recently launched are put. So if you want to, like, what's the latest stuff, they put it there. And if it is ranked very high, if many people like it, it can be nominated as product of the day or something, which means that your product really makes sense and people really like your product. Am I correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Miss Folashade, um, please, um, please introduce yourself. And like I said, if you prepared anything short, nice for us, now would be a very good time to hear it before we go into the portfolio session.
Okay. Good
Can hear
morning,
you.
everyone. Yeah, I am trying to figure out my camera. Apologies, I really do not do a lot of Zoom calls. I'm used to probably other software. So I'll quickly introduce myself before probably coming up with my presentation slide. And I would say, honestly, my story somewhat resonates with Mr. Adetoro's story as regards to pivoting and trying to figure out what next to do and the struggle. So, by way of introduction, my name is Folashade Omidiora. I'm a product designer at Revent Technologies, and I'm quite passionate about human hand development generally. And I think that is it about me, basically. So let me try and share my slide, because I kind of, please, I'll probably need your permission to do that. Yeah. Thank you. Go. Please, if you can see my screen, I would like us to notify me. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, thank you. So just as I have introduced myself, to be Folashade Omidiora, I'm privileged to be working with Revent Technologies and serving as a product design lead. And a few things about how I pivoted into tech, basically how to pivot into tech, but using my backstory as foundation. So here are the breakpoints, bullet point of what I'm going to be talking about. Let me just move to my slides. My experience. I graduated as a computer science student, but I was quite more interested in arts. So even being a computer science student was a struggle for me, not because I didn't like computer science. I actually thought applying as a computer science student, and in my mind, I felt because I enjoy creative arts that I would probably find my path easily. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite easy because it has to do with a lot of mathematics, which I wasn't so good in at that time. So I was able to find my voice. I think when I got to 300 level, and then we were moved into our core course. So that year we started doing HTML design, and that was when I figured out, okay, I might like to do something under web design or graphics and the likes. So when I did my IT, I focused on that. And by the time I was graduating, I did my case study research basically on that. But eventually, I ventured into aviation after I graduated school, simply because in my heart of hearts, I actually made my family know that I wasn't going to do well in computer science because I didn't know what to do with computer science. But few months down the line in aviation industry, I knew I designed without really preparing, and I thought because I had passion for arts, not yet, I actually have passion for arts. I enrolled at a graduate training in arts. I was frustrated at some point because I felt I needed more. So, and I wasn't making money, and I wasn't going to, beg. So that was when the self-discovery phase of my life started. So here are the few things I did in self-discovery phase. I had to reinvent my wheel because at that point, I had the pressure. You're already working, probably doing fine averagely for yourself, and now you're out of a job. You are trying to, find your path in art, and I was getting little money, like here and there. People are, requesting for artwork, but I still was thinking I was, not doing so much. So even as finding my path in art, I created a niche for myself in art, which was fashion illustrator. So that was the time, and I enrolled into a school. I got the job. I started teaching, fashion students, fashion illustration. But yeah, my real discovery phase was when I sat down and I did a soul search. And I think it's key important thing to actually evaluate yourself and ask yourself questions. I won't be reading everything I prepared in my slide word for word, but you can read through and follow my storyline. So here are the few things I did. Did a soul search. If you're a spiritual person, go on a spiritual journey. Read books and write. Like, you need to do a lot of writing. And seek counsel at the appropriate quarter. Like, if you know people that... I'm big on events that is relevant to me at every point in time, because I figure out that once you hear any free event or even paid events, people just rush into the place. But I intentionally choose the kind of events I go to because what I'm looking for. So after I did start down the right question, and lest I forget, there was one big thing that helped my discovery phase, and which was Googling plenty questions. Because it was like Mrs. Aditoro had also pointed out, in that phase, it will be like a lot of pressure. So Google was genuinely my friend. So in my search for Google, on my search on Google, I found someone. She's called Marie Folio. Folio, yeah. And I read a bio, I listened to a podcast. That changed my life. And also, when it comes to seeking counsel too, I found a podcast online. I joined different communities where I get free mentorship or probably paid mentorship, and that also helped to boost my confidence. And John Obidi was one coach on that platform. He released a podcast then, and the podcast was how to make money, using your skill within 30 days. I was like, wow. So after listening to Marie Folio and John Obidi, I was able to write out things about myself, and that was how I was able to, know my likes, my dislikes, and things I like doing, how I can make money out of it. That was when I figured out that, since I'm a very fantastic fine artist and a good painter, why can't I just, work under illustration? So I did a research on illustration and boom, found a school that needed my skill. And that was how I was able to leverage to make money, even though I knew I had figured out that I want to be in tech on the long run. I just needed that platform, money, and why you go on your journey into tech. So I would also quickly speak on this. Figure out what you want to do. So before I actually moved into fashion industry, I knew I wanted to go into tech, and I knew I wanted to become a product designer or UI UX designer. So this was what I did. I took that job in fashion illustration, leveraging my skill at that point in time. So if you are in that space right now, you probably need a source of income. You probably can leverage on other skills that you have to make the money, or if you have a current job that you feel is bad, don't quit. I would advise don't quit. I'm speaking based on experience. Continue to love that job and use the allotted time you have for yourself, for personal development, and working on searching yourself, and also putting in your all, investing your all into what thing you want to pivot into. So I figured out that here, and few of these things I wrote here, and more were the opportunities that were out there. But because I've been able to understand myself, my likes, my skill sets, I knew UI UX was good for me. So after which, I moved to the next point, which is I build myself on my relevant area of experience. So because I figured out that my slide wasn't coming up properly. So I started taking free courses, paid courses. Mind you, I was doing my illustration job fantastically well on the side, but I made sure that any job I was taking was a part-time job, because I needed time to actually also work on, where I'm going to. So I took courses online, paid free courses, and also offline. I entered into internship training. There was one internship that really stood out for me, which was, it happened during the lockdown season. And we have about over 11,000 candidates registered for the internship. And we were from different stacks. I knew I was UI UX because I've been learning UI UX, so I moved into UI UX. Others were developers. So the goal of the internship is, at the end of the day, we are able to build software that is marketable. But for every week, there is disqualification. But, as God will have it, I became a finalist out of 11,000. I graduated. I was one of the 50 that graduated at the end. So that moved me to the next phase, which I'm going to also talk about. Your network is your net worth. So I think my experience in self-discovery made me form some kind of acquaintance, and also doing courses and also internship training also helped me to form another level of acquaintanceship, where I was able to, build community of friends or be in a community. And I was vocal about my desire to get a job. So I would say for me, most of the job I've worked on, both in tech and outside tech, were majorly based on reference. I don't know, but it was, I just figured out eventually like that. I'm actually big on networking. So, and I'm big on speaking out when I need opportunity, or speaking out when I need clarity on certain things. And sometimes I sit myself down before actually speaking out, because I believe I'm a multi-potential person and it's hard for me to find mentor. So I don't really easily go to people for mentor. I'd rather watch you from afar or join a group where you mentor people to, pick and learn. And that was how I was able to, learn certain things when it comes to building my CV, positioning myself for jobs. So my CV, honestly, today, what I will tell you about building resume when you're trying to pivot is, if you can pay professionals, pay them. It's not like you just build my CV and you lay back. You need to also, let them know your story, your journey. And if you can't pay, go for online resource. They are out there. Do your CV so well. Read examples of templates. I'm big on research, and as a product designer, is a key requirement. And if you follow through my story, you will figure out that I mentioned that Google is one of my friends. If I'm curious about anything, I just type. In fact, the keywords, if I tell you some keywords that I search for, you'll be alarmed. But yeah, I get the results. So for someone like me, I was curious enough to, figure out how to build a good resume. I leverage on friends that have skill. And mind you, along my journey, I took digital marketing training. I did graphics. I applied for the graphic design school training. I did so many things simply because I knew where I was going to. And because I'm a creative person, I wanted to understand which creative space I would excel in. So that was why I did all this. And within that journey, I was able to build good network. So I had a friend who was good with helping people enhancing their skill sets and preparing them for job. I joined that group. And she will always teach about how you can develop yourself, build CVs, how she did cover letter. So those templates she used to share, I would sit down on my own, design different cover letters that would resonate with the kind of job I want to apply for. And also let my CV match. And trust me when I say this, that for every interview I've bagged or go into, the first thing they talk about is my resume, how fantastic it was, and that was the reason why they chose me before they will now talk about my skill sets. And I was still new to the tech space, so I also made sure that for every time I send out my CV and everything I send, I have links. As a designer, you should have Dribble links, Behance, or if you have a personal this is where you put your portfolio designs, or if you have a personal website, you have to include it inside your CV. So because your CV is actually omnipotent, it represents you everywhere you go, and be able to tell a good story that shows your progression and projection, how you move from year to year, and this is where you are currently at the stage of your life. So my last state would be be resilient. No matter what, don't give up. You've been able to build yourself across, you figure out yourself, you are able to, find a network, you are able to, come up with portfolios, work on yourself, do an internship, you have something credible. Don't also sleep on it. Even when you get the job, when you ace the job, you need to continue to build yourself, to grow, because the thing is, emergent technology, everything evolves, everything happens, at every point in time, there is evolution. So you need to keep evolving. Even when you don't get the job, don't sleep on it. This is what I do for every time that I know that, okay, I applied somewhere and they didn't get back to me. Sometimes I could actually send them an email to ask, what didn't I do well? And if I don't, I just, tell someone to probably evaluate my CV, or even sit down myself, evaluate my work, evaluate my portfolio, and revamp. And revamp sometimes could simply mean remove a old and put in something new. And please, anytime you're trying to apply for a job, find your niche. For me, I'm an expert in building SaaS products and maybe let me use word management products. So I put my best foot forward in those areas. Those are the industry I kind of like. And I also look in agency. Some of my friends be like, you are weird because agency can be tiring. But I like it because it gives me the ability to work on different projects because I'm that person. I don't like routine. I like evolving. So I put my best foot forward in, if you know that you like fintech application designs, build yourself on that area. And those are the things you should be putting forward in your portfolio, showing understanding in that, and definitely you will ace that wonderful job you are looking out for. So this is my last take. In the end, it's not the year in your life that counts. It's the life in your years that is the most important thing. So never give up. Pivoting would not be easy, but it will worth it at the end of the day if you don't give up. So that is all from me. Thank you. I hope I didn't kill so much time.
Well, we will send you the bill for the extra time you took. Don't worry about that. Thank you very much. You have touched on some very, very critical points as per the CV and the presentation and so on. Now, I see I have some. Mr. Manuel is on Zoom. Thank you very much for joining us. Next, Mr. Ezra, sorry, I keep messing it up, is going to introduce himself. But before he does that, I've gotten a number of portfolios, but the interesting thing is, I don't know, maybe I wasn't clear in the communication, but a lot of people are dropping their portfolios and they are not physically present online. So I don't know, am I supposed to review it in absentia? I don't know what, I'm just going to skip all of that. I think like 2 or 3 of them I have on my phone at the moment, but the owners are not on Zoom. So I'm just going to gently skip it, and then if they come online while we are still online, that's fine. If they don't, well, they will have to join us at a later date. That's fine. I also feel like the idea of showcasing your portfolio probably scared off a lot of people, because I mean, someone sent me a message, "Oh, I'm coming," and then he's been coming for the last 30 minutes. "Oh, I'm on my way," "Oh, we are here." She means them, "We're here," and I'm like, "Guy, we spoke last night. If you don't want to come, it's fine." And this is part of what this event is supposed to do. The idea that before you showcase your portfolio, it has to look fantastic, it has to look very high-end, it has to look a certain type of way, is part of what this event was to address and to also speak on. Tech really is a journey. It's not really about the destination. And so that everybody sees and understands that we all started somewhere, and it's not so much of the sophistication of your portfolio that matters. I mean, not everybody is going to create a product that is product of the day on product hunt, Not everybody is going to do all sorts of things. We are all going to start from somewhere. Now, having said that, I do have one portfolio waiting, but we're not going to go there yet. My very good friend from Cyprus Codes is going to speak, and then he's going to answer a couple of questions. Then we have the portfolio, and if there's no other question, like I said, we will keep to time. We would end, we'll come to an end of the event. We'll have the closing remarks. This is already, we have about 40 minutes left on the clock. So Mr. Ezra is going to speak for about 5-10 minutes. We will have a very short Q&A. We'll have the portfolio I have is for a software developer. So Mrs. Adetoro and Mr. Ezra, please get ready for that. And like I said, if the owners of the portfolios I have don't show up, we would simply move on to other things. Having said that, please let's make welcome. Like I said, I don't think I can introduce him that will do him justice. I will let him do that himself.
my very good friend, probably the only Turkish Cypriot on this panel, Mr. Israel. Please take it away.
Hello, Femi. Nice to see you again. Thanks for inviting me, and it's always nice to see friends like who are maybe like in different stages in their journey into technology. And I think a combination of these like talks, previous speakers have made some really great points about what to pay attention to when you are trying to maybe like transition into technology, whether you are coming from a software engineering angle or a product design angle or a UX. I guess I don't have any slides, by the way. I think I would just try to approach it from a business owner's perspective, what you would like to see when you are considering a candidate for building your product or designing your product. So so I think I will approach it from that angle to just give you the variety of opinions. So a bit about my background: I did a computer science degree, and after that I started working with a couple of software firms. I was fortunate enough to be, to study in the UK, and there are lots of job opportunities compared to, Asia, Turkey, Cyprus, Africa. There's a lot of jobs out there, and I think the game right now is to basically become, as a candidate, I guess, as a, technologist or a professional, become appealing prospects so that company in the US or Europe or UK, wherever it may be, they say, okay, we give a chance to Aircel, we give a chance to Femi, we give a chance to Adetoro, because that's with the invention of the internet, and I think pandemic has really sped things up, that companies are more willing to hire abroad or basically look for talent elsewhere rather than domestically. My background, after working as a software engineer for a few years, I started a software company in the UK, focusing on e-commerce logistics, and at the same time I started teaching at a coding bootcamp. And that's you might be aware, coding bootcamps are basically short-term education courses aimed at adults who are trying to get into programming industry or software engineering industry, and who come from non-traditional, like non-computer science backgrounds. And after doing that for a few years, I decided, okay, maybe it's a good time to start something similar in Cyprus. And that's when we started Cyprus Codes 2 years ago. So we started as a programming school, and out of the first few people we trained, we started an agency, a software development agency, offering, product build services and maintenance services to clients in the UK. And it's been going for 2 years. As I said, we are still running the school on the side, and on the side we also have our agency business. So I think that when I think about it, like when you are trying to break into technology, I think the hardest challenge is to land your first role, right? And once you unlock your first position, the opportunities start coming to you. The dynamics of leverage and power, dramatically change after you have some experiences, let's say, as an engineer, as a product designer, as a UX specialist. So, but how do you get that first position is, that's the question, I guess. And I believe it's a combination of obviously, ability, that you can show in your portfolio, that, you are able to produce, products or designs that are, up to a certain quality. And, that's one side of the equation. The other side of the equation, as the previous speakers mentioned, is your network. Network effects are, a big factor when opportunities come to you, or like when people consider you for positions. If your CV has been referred to them, or your name has been dropped by someone who they trust, obviously, you have some immediate trust and, reputation that you can leverage there as well. And so how do you build your network? Is by, attending events like this, and, meeting people, being genuinely interested in what they are doing, what they are concerned about, what they are interested in, and basically forming those human connections, right? And that's true. Basically, attending events, checking up on people, and, just, genuine curiosity, I guess, in the human nature. Um, so network, as we say, very important. And probably the third point I would say is to ability to think outside the box, right? If you are doing what everybody else is doing, just sending your CV at random companies and hoping for the best, that's not a strategy that's going to separate you from the 20 other people who are sending their CVs without giving any thought to the business, right? So I would suggest, like, thinking outside the box. Like, if you are looking for your first position, maybe you should offer something different to the business owner. Let's say you are interested in a meal delivery company and you want to, like, work on their product or their website. Maybe, when attaching your CV, maybe attach a sample design. Like, let's say, these are the, common problems I spotted on your web page, and here is what I would do to fix it, right? Maybe like you do an initial examination of their website or their mobile application, I don't care, but just to give a bit of an insight on how you can bring value to their business, to their product. And, by taking that initiative and, showing that you are proactive about solving problems and identifying issues, and you are thinking about how to add value, then, that will probably, if they had 20 CVs to go through, and you were offering some kind of value like this, and they like what they see, you will definitely get an interview or get a call from them. And, I think these are the tricks that you can use to kind of differentiate yourself in a very, competitive market that is tech, which is open to anyone with an internet connection. And, that's probably the, like, main points I wanted to discuss. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the portfolios of the community members and, give some feedback. Thanks for me.
Thank you very, very much. I mean, it was great to hear from the perspective of a business owner. I'm sure some of the software people here will have some questions for you. You've been eyeing me since. They want to know what goes on behind the scenes. All right. Before I pass on the mic to him, I think, Mr. Michael, you have about let's say 10 minutes. Wait, let me look at the time. Yeah, you have about, 10 minutes to speak. Just run it through. You don't have to, like, go through each one, because I know that will take time. Just some that you think are notable, and I believe some of the jury members, in this case, Mr. Dotora and Mr. Ezra, will have some questions. And yeah, you can use my PC. It's fine. Yeah. Is it on? No, you think you need to press that? Yes. All right, take it away.
Okay. I hope everyone can hear me. All right. Hello, guys. Good to be here. How does this go? I just keep talking. Okay, I'll just keep talking. I'm echoing, so it's a bit weird. So yeah, this is my portfolio. Maybe I should go to my about page. I like that one. I hope it's okay. At the same time. Okay, so this is much better. Does this work? Okay, yeah, about me. I'm just a full stack software developer. I work currently here in North Cyprus with a software development firm. I just have a passion for building functional and usable sites. I like programming a lot, and I have a strong belief in using frameworks to actually build something. I hope my screen is still being shared. Okay. And because of these frameworks, I'll use Laravel, Vue, React, Next, and many more. I will consider blogging my solutions later on, and I do podcasts in my free time. You can check it out. So, portfolio. Okay. So here's just a few of the things that I have worked on over the past year. I started working as a software developer about 2 years ago. That's fine. So in the past year, I started building things, and I'll just start from the latest thing that I've built. Maybe I'll just talk about only this one. I think is best so that we save time. So this is just an invoice application that I built. I was trying to bill someone for a product, and then I decided to, how will I generate an invoice? Okay, you can use this software. And I tried using it, and then it was paid. And also at that same time, I was learning React Native. So this product was also built using React Native. Why not just use what you're learning and build something? I think someone mentioned it like that. So I decided to go ahead and do that. Oh, okay. And just build an invoice generator. It's very simple to use. You create your invoice, use it, and this is just a portfolio page. If maybe I should open it on. Okay. So that's basically it for this application. It's just an application that you will use to generate an invoice on the fly. You can generate it easily and send it as a PDF to someone. As you can see, the design is very simplistic in nature. I don't plan to, because that's at the root of my how do I say, of my motivation for anything. I'm just trying to make things as simple as possible, and of course maybe I should talk about this. No, okay. So this is just another mobile application I made. Very simple. All it does is just list of people who exchange currency. That's Naira too, because there are some people who help out. So it's just like a contact list basically. And this is a different. Okay, I think I should go back. This is a different. And then this is just the page for it. If you want to check out the page, you can go and check it. I have a lot of portfolio to list here. Maybe one more. Yeah, one more. This is one that I take pride in. It's a site that I built by bringing many technologies together. So this site is built using just JavaScript and YAML. So the content that comes from the site is not okay. I think there's some internet problem. Whatever. So it's a site built. Did it load? Did it load up? Okay, I guess the internet is a bit slow. Maybe I should work on that. Anyway, so this site is just built using Jamstack template. It's a template actually that I just used by Commerce.js. You can check them out. And the site is built using Next.js, and there's something called a headless e-commerce framework that you can use to move around your cart inventory. I think Paystack started doing that now. And then it has inventory management and checkout options. Which for the checkout, I had to integrate it using to Paystack or Stripe. So, and then it also has SSG, that's server-side generation capabilities with good SEO. And the site is hosted on here. It's supposed to be an e-commerce website that sells clothing currently. So you can check it out. And okay. Okay, yes. So this is the site. You can see it's very easy to use and navigate. Products you can purchase, add to your cart. Okay, yes. It's using the Check.js API backend. So whenever you add to your cart, you're going to send an API request back and forth, and then you can easily check out and fill your details and have discount codes. Everything fully functional there. So I think that's going to be the end of this portfolio. Since I'm out of time.
Thank you very much. I am going to let Mr. Adeto react to that portfolio first. No, don't go. In case she has questions for you, because I cannot answer. You know, you're speaking in tongues. You know, I mean, some people were just hearing JS, KJ, BBC, SSG. You know, I'm going to let Mr. Adeto react to the portfolio first and give feedback, and then Mr. Ezra would make a comment on it. I always like his comment because he's coming from the perspective of a business owner, which is usually different from the perspective of a designer. So I always like to hear from him. All right, Mr. Adeto, please take it away.
Yeah, I mean, this is like all really impressive stuff. So, congrats, man. So, what I would probably do, you said this e-commerce, project is the one you are most proud of. I think you should probably put it at the very top of your portfolio page. You see, it shouldn't be down in the corner as a, tiny tile. You should probably just put it at the very top just to showcase that, this is the top of my ability. This is what I can produce. You see what I mean? Because it has quite interesting, mix of technologies, a headless e-commerce system. It has Next.js, server-side rendering, very, very, very hot topics when people, are building modern e-commerce websites. So definitely, I would say put that on the top. And the invoicing application is quite an interesting one as well. The one you have showcased us. Actually, we had to build something like this for our own agency. So, when I saw it, okay, I wish I had something like this instead of building my own.
You can still use it now.
Yeah. I mean, we have a few particular use cases that, for the invoice generation, we use different bank accounts for different clients to make it easier for them to make payments. And it's usually, because we are on rolling contracts with our clients, it usually helps to kind of remember the last previous invoice and just duplicate it for the client every month. So if it had such features, I would probably even pay for it, Yeah.
This is the free version, okay?
Nice. Yeah, that's all I wanted to
Thank you.
say
Thank
and
you so
ask,
much.
really. Yeah. Thank you.
So much.
Hi.
Hi, Mrs.
I think, seeing your portfolio is really impressive. And it's definitely more than I had done before I got a job. So, big ups to you for working on so many things and using a lot of different stacks. And, it's really cool to see like how many things you learned to use, um, and actually build stuff using those. Because it's one thing to like learn something, but I think it's really impressive when you can actually build something using what you've learned. Like Ezra mentioned, I think maybe putting, I'm so sorry, I hope that's the correct pronunciation of your name. Um, Putting the e-commerce at the top of your, like the first thing you see when, yes, you land on your portfolio. And I think this might be a design thing, so probably Fola Shade will do a better explanation. But I think this initial banner when on this page is a bit hard to see like the text because of the background. So I can hardly read the text that says a range of products for you. Like because of the background, it's clashing, and also the button. Like maybe do you get what I'm saying? Like it's better
Yeah.
if there was like a
This is
plain yes. Like here
Yeah,
is much
put a
better.
contrast. Yeah, visual contrast. So you probably need to change for your cover. You probably need to change. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can.
You probably need to change your background cover. You put an overlay, a darker overlay, so that the white can come out. Or you probably that's better.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's better. So that what you have, I assume what you have on the background is the hero page
Yeah.
of your design section. Let it go, let it dull, let it fade out so that the information would come out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you very, very much.
But
That's
before you go on, I
okay. Go
would
on.
also want to say kudos. Like I'm wowed by what you have developed so far. I'm quite interested in the e-commerce and also the invoice, honestly, because and I also want to ask a question as regards the invoice. I hope okay, maybe for a start, it's just a it's not a dynamic. It doesn't have a dynamic invoice template, right?
No, it's just a generic invoice template for now.
Just one, right?
Yeah.
But I hope you can save invoice. Do you have an audit trail of past invoice that you've done, reviewed, you've done in the system? Do you understand?
I'm not sure I do.
Or you just generate the invoice?
Okay, so I generate it.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't show the application very well. Let me show it on Google. So Safari can't open Google.
So yeah, my
What about
question
Apple?
is, you generate invoice, do you store them? Do you have a table for maybe recent invoice that have been generated?
Yeah, let me look for more screenshots. So it's usually supposed to
So,
generate in a list like this. And everything is stored locally, so you don't have to be afraid of your invoice being stored online. Maybe people seeing your, how do I say this, make this thing bigger? Okay, so usually the invoices are supposed to be listed in this manner, like according to the date, and you can see everything listed.
oh,
And you can even customize the logo that appears on your invoice, So it is generic, but you can do some customization on it if you want. And you can add, an
honestly,
invoice generator. You can add more
it's a
items to it.
fantastic one.
So, all right.
Fantastic. Well
Yeah.
done.
Okay, thank you.
Fine boy. You are the designer. You are the software developer. You are not Michael. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for that feedback. We're just going to take one more portfolio, which is mine. I have a couple, but this is the one I would like to show for now. Okay, come on. come and collect the mic. This is the one I would like to show for now. My Behance portfolio. Is it Behance or Binance? How do you pronounce it? I call it Behance.
Hi, that was impressive, sincerely. But I wanted to say that I work with Paystack, right? And there are many times developers like you send emails to us and say, oh, I have this new product. This is what it does this, this, and this. And then they request a meeting with us, and our developers actually meet with them depending on what they see and if they like it. And there are a few times, I shouldn't say this, but okay, no, don't worry, but you get what I mean. I'll see you after, but I think you should do that. If they see something they can work with, they will partner with you, they will work with you. They would, you will have some kind of, collaboration or something. So don't limit yourself. When you do things like this, reach out to people. You integrated Paystack on some of them, on the site. So reach out to them. Oh, I was able to do this, I was able to do that. Can we work together? I have this idea. Do you think you can integrate it on your site? Do you think you can add it to what Paystack does, or Flutterwave, or you get what I mean? Yeah. So do not limit yourself to that. All right.
All right. Thank you very much. We have 10 minutes to the end of this session. So in about 5-7 minutes, I'm just going to keep quiet, and I'm just going to walk you through my portfolio, and then quickly we can give feedback. So I'll just pick two. This is one of the two projects I'm going to highlight. This one is, I try to imagine if we have a dedicated immigration site. Currently, TRNC does not have a dedicated immigration site. We have what is called a site for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and there they have all the immigration information and stuff, but it's foreign affairs, so there's a lot of other information there that you really don't have any business with. A lot of countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand have a dedicated immigration site that answers the question of visas, how to apply, from which country, and so on and so forth. So this is more or less, a rough sketch. To me, it is a rough sketch of what the site could look like. On the background are the mountains in Guinea, and then you have the flag there in the background. But what it could look like if the TRNC did have an immigration site. And then the second project I would like to show, no, it's not this one, is a company in TRNC. It's a food delivery app called Feed Me Cyprus. I had a meeting with them sometime in the year, I don't remember now. And I saw their app, and I'm like, okay, it works, but the UI was very, well, for lack of a better word, interesting. So I decided to go home and, well, put my own spin on that app. So this is the splash page. So when you launch the app on your phone, this is what you're going to see. This is like the flyer of what the app basically is. A food, you order food on the app. So it's like a flyer designed to say download the Feed Me Cyprus app, blah blah blah. And this is also another flyer of the UI screen. But you can also see what I like to call the home page of the app on the second slide there. I think I have it somewhere else. You could swipe left or right, so the red buttons there on which food options you want. You could place your order and automatically get an estimated delivery time. And this is easy because North Cyprus is it's quite easy to navigate around. So you could easily estimate how quickly you could get to a particular location, whatever food deals are available, and if you want to order from a particular restaurant, so you have restaurants near you. Now, so this is kind of like the screens, the location where you are, if you want to type in your location manually, which is what the app currently has, but it's not very intuitive and it's not very nice looking. And then, or you want to find your location yourself on the app. So they have a prescribed or a pre-selected list of locations. You could find your place on the app, on the map yourself. That's why the second screen there. Or you could type it in by, streamlining by location. So your province, whether it's Lefkoshare, Guinea, whatever, and so on, and pick whatever you want. And then finally the order placement. So those are the two projects for the sake of time that I will just highlight. And then I think I will let Folashade take the lead on this one so that in order of feedback, we'll just do it the way we came, but in reverse. Folashade and Adetoro and Mr. Ezra finally, before we bring this to a close so we can close at 1 o'clock as promised. All right. I'm listening.
Well done. It's a wonderful attempt. Honestly, I would say. I think the only thing, please open the app, food app. Is this their color? I want to know if it's
Yeah. This is their
black.
color. This is the
Okay,
color
because I
of the app.
wanted to commend you on the use of color. Please swipe to the pages, the other pages. So what I would say about this your portfolio, it doesn't really tell a story and it doesn't really embody what you are trying to do. You are not showing me, you're only showing me design. You know, you are giving the design an acrobatic look here. So I'm not really seeing the problem you're trying to solve, either in words or in actual design. Like I want to see the way you are showing me their splash screen, flat and easy. I can see it. I can't see the solution you are trying to solve on the, what is it called, on the location, search location and the location filter and the like. So, and another thing is you also need to work on uh, your components that you are using in designing, and also a bit of understanding design principles would definitely guide your path in actualizing the goal that you feel the current application lack. So yeah, I would like to stop there. Next time, put them into word. Let people know your the reason why you're trying to do this. Like, okay, for a starter, honestly, I don't know if you're actually a designer, but I would believe we all understand, design process, which covers definition, research, and ideation, then before design. You can give us a walkthrough of like the top three, the first three stages of the design. Definition. Okay, what my friend ordered the food somewhere. It was difficult to you understand, so that your reader or the person that is within your portfolio would understand your pain point. And what did you do after then? Did you check other food applications, how they do it? Did you check even other applications that are not food applications? Take, for example, I'm here in Nigeria. Most of the time, if you're trying to do a location, I would make reference, if I'm probably to work on this, I will make reference to likes of Uber. How do they do their location search today? Google, when you're looking for Google direction, how do they do it? And other applications that has to do with location and search of that has search opportunity. How do they do it? How do you understand? And even most of the time, you have to integrate with those applications. You understand? You have to integrate with Google to get your search option done well. And your search design looks clustered, like a bit clumsy. I wish I can see it plainly. Then I can ask, or let me even ask you, those icons that I'm seeing in color green, light green, dark green, or I don't know what the icons are for, but
Okay, so
yeah.
let me respond to that. You made a very good point in terms of researching other apps, similar apps, Uber and other food delivery apps. But there's, I didn't mention this earlier. The closest competition to Feed Me Cyprus is Yem Kesepeti. And at that time, something very interesting happened. Yem Kesepeti got acquired by a German parent company. And the first thing they did was to revamp the UI, change the entire UI and process on the app. And what happened is that in the following 2 to 3 weeks, they lost users. People basically stopped using the app because they did not understand the app, they did not understand the process and so on. So basically this redesign, when I spoke with the FeedMe team, in fact, it was so serious that the FeedMe team had an increase in users that same week because people simply left the other app and came to their own app. So it was important that as much as possible, even though this was a redesign, I stick to the current design as closely as possible without trying to do too many things. So these icons you are seeing on the extreme left here that has all these colors is a direct lift from the current app. Yes, I agree. It could be better. It's very clumsy. It doesn't look well. Yes, I agree. But it is a direct lift from the current app. I tried as much as possible. Some of the other, this other search drop down here is also a lift from the current app because, like I said, we are not trying to be too different, or rather, I'm not trying to be too different from the existing app. We are just trying to be as close to what they already have, since it is working, and not, something that will alienate their current users. So I just thought I should quickly put that in there.
Okay. I think I want to believe you are still growing the journey into UI UX design, and I'm sure over time, when you come back to this application, you'll be wowed at your level of experience and how far you now understand how principles and how to apply their visualization and hierarchy. And this is what I used to tell people whenever I'm interviewing them and they're defending their work, and they're like trying to tell me, I don't want to go out of what they are doing currently. Fine. Honestly, you don't need to go out of, and that is why most of the time it's good to ask questions, to do, research and ask people questions about, okay, what can we add? Like, I believe what you had a frustration, and the frustration was what you're trying to solve. So in as much, and I also tell designers this, that if you're improving on an existing product, it's left to them to pick it or not to pick it. You are not supposed to stress your user because it's user-centered. But that doesn't mean you can improve on the design. That is what I tell people, because I also want to see your design thinking when I'm reviewing. It's good that you want to leave it the way they are doing it. If it is one button that you added or one thing that you took out or one additional thing that you put, it's fine. And even you can actually reduce the contrast or do something about the visual arrangement, but it must be based on users' feedback, you understand? So it won't be like you are just, making it, you are being strong opinionated about what exactly should work or what should not work. The fact that they have it currently this way doesn't justify that they are right or wrong, but for you, it's the design, you just can go through that length of making it better. Maybe the way it is being arranged is not making me have a good sense of judgment. Forgive me for using the word judgment. Good sense of understanding of what was maybe different or what was adopted. But I'm looking at it, even icon, when it comes to choose of icon, I don't see consistency. That drop down icon, you used solid in one part, that one that dropped down, and I'm looking at it, the one that pointed to the right, you used what's it called, linear. So that also is feedback. And place your order now. I feel that button, I don't know, but it feels to me like even if it's supposed to be there, it's not supposed to be punging. It's a button, it's a call to action. The color can be different, but it doesn't have to be every text. It's actually a button. Yeah. So that is it for me.
Okay. Thank you. Adetora, are you still there, or have we bored you out of the place?
No, I'm here.
Please go on. I think we have 1 or 2 minutes more. Yes.
I think the first thing is because I can't. So this is just like a few screens.
Yeah.
So I can't see like a lot of the functionality of what this app looks like. So it's going to be a bit hard to give like a full, should I say, review.
That's fine.
But what I would say is, like Falashade mentioned, is, I mean, this looks good. Like looking at it, I can basically tell what is going on surface level. But so the thing about, like what they say in my company about product management is, or products, working on products is that you always have to keep the end user in mind, and you want to like get out of their way as much as possible. Like you don't want them having to think about what the next step is. Like it should really just flow. So I think I don't, because I don't know what the app you actually used to look like and what exactly you're gunning for. I think there are some specifics that I can't give you, but maybe just speaking with more people might help to make some of these things better. Like what exactly were the issues they had with the new design that you mentioned? What exactly made them drop off? Like, was it complicated? Was it like, at what point did they figure out, like, I'm going to close this app? Like, what exactly were the issues? And then with those answers, I think it's be easier to maybe implement the things that Falashade mentioned in the way that it looks, because as much technology might be going on in the background, what the user sees is what they respond with to. So I think that's my input for this particular app. I don't know if you understand exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah, I understand you very well. It's a very, we have a very, how do I put it in a way that you would understand? We have a very conservative user audience.
Right.
So when they have something that works, you better not touch it. No matter how bad it looks. So this is why updating websites, apps is a bit of a dance. You kind of need to do it in a way that there is still semblance of where they are coming from before you eventually take them to where you are going. Otherwise, if everything is new, they will simply walk away. That is the user audience here. And so the app where you are seeing this UI is not great. It's not great, yes, but it is 1,000% improvement on the current app. Trust me on that. My people here, I'm sure Mr. Ezra will understand what I'm talking about. So it is an extremely conservative audience. So as much as possible, if something is working, no matter how bad it looks, you have to find a way to keep what is familiar while bringing in new stuff. That's a play on what is going on here.
Okay. I mean, I think if that's the situation, then, I mean, you know your audience, so an outsider can really not might not have the same perspective as you have, since you know the people that are actually going to use this application. So I guess that it works.
My boss. Thank you very much. Mr. Ezra, are you still there?
Yes,
All right.
still here. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not my specialty to, comment on UX or design concerns. But, one thing I think it could improve this portfolio would be to see a full prototype in something like Figma, where we can also almost interact with the application, kind of see how it feels, or the user journeys and that kind of design aspects. We could have interacted with it. I think that's always gives people a bit more opportunity to understand how it will feel, instead of just seeing a few screenshots. But that's the only thing I would comment on, really. And in terms of like clients being conservative about like what you can change, I kind of feel it falls on the consultant, right, to kind of convince the client that this is the best way of doing it, and like, yeah, I think it's like, I think you might need to think about how to frame, what they have and what they could have, and what they are missing out by by not opening their eyes to the full extent of the opportunity or the change they can go through. Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. To be fair though, they never did get back to me on. They actually did tell me they are not interested in a redesign at the moment. So which might explain why they never did get back to me, on it. But it's good to have this feedback. The other projects that match this play-by-play interface you talked about, I cannot show them in public. I'm sorry, but I'm trying not to get sued. But it's fine. I take that to heart, and I would implement that going forward. Thank you very, very much. Having said that, I think we bring this to a close. Special shout out to everybody who has attended online, offline, on Zoom, and on YouTube. Thank you very much for taking out the time. I hope I didn't take too much of your time, my dear panel members. I really hope I didn't take too much of your time. But thank you very, very much for taking the time out to come and be with us today. And I hope that when next I invite you, you would find it in your heart to please come, because we will definitely want to see you again. Once again, on behalf of myself and everybody in the OMA community, thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Speak to you later.
Thank you, and thank you for having